Welcome back for another screencast. I want to spend some time during this screencast looking at the first assignment that you'll do for class, the reading autobiography. So once more, I've come back to livebinders.com. I'm going to click on the LSSL 5385 binder, come over to the green assignments tab, click on that, and then click on the sub-tab for reading autobiography. Once again, you'll see a link for a Word document pop up. It's called Reading Autobiography. I'll click on that. You may elect either to open it, to save it, or to save it as and give it a different name. That's totally up to you. We're just going to go ahead and open this file and take a look at the details for the assignment on the reading autobiography. As I said, this is the first assignment you do for class. I do think it's a fairly simple one, fairly straightforward, but I do want to review all of the assignments for the course. Basically, the reading autobiography is a way for you to document your life as a reader or a non-reader, as the case may be. It could be that when you were very young, you were an avid reader and then you kind of fell out of love with reading for a while and came back to it later. Or you could have begun as a struggling reader and come to a love of reading later in life. Those things are basically the kinds of things that I'm looking for in a reading autobiography. It's your story about how you came to be where you are today. I'm assuming that since you're enrolled in a library science class, that you want to be a school librarian, that these are indicators that you like books and reading, because if not, you've just obviously chosen the wrong profession. But I do want you to include positive and negative experiences if you've had them along the way. So let's just kind of look at the reading autobiography assignment. There are two examples of reading autobiographies in your textbook. One is my reading autobiography, because when I took the young adult literature class many years ago, I too had to write mine. And the other reading autobiography is one that a student wrote for me many years into my teaching of young adult literature. And it basically shows two very different kinds of approaches in terms of how we both came to love books and reading. I put these two together in the book to show you that there's no one path that you follow as you grow into becoming a lifelong reader. So I hope that both of these will be useful to you. They'll kind of show you the depth of detail that I'm looking for in these. So as you approach this assignment, I would look at the tips here for the assignment. And if you look here, it says the first tip is tells you to be sure that you use first person. This is a memoir, and first person is the correct person for this assignment. So your reading autobiography should be filled to the brim with I, me, my, rather than if one were to look back on one's life, one might forget that kind of soulless writing in third person. I want first person here. I suggest that before you begin, that you perhaps brainstorm a list of memories you have from your early years. That includes, by the way, before you went to school, and throughout your elementary, middle school, high school, and college years and into adulthood. You might even want to contact a family member to talk about memories you might have forgotten. It's amazing sometimes that the memories that moms and dads have about books and reading in your childhood. So you might consider that. Remember that honesty is what I'm striving for here. I don't expect that everybody's had positive experiences all the way through. And if you look at my reading autobiography, you'll see that I had some negative experiences when forced to read texts that I wasn't really prepared for. So think a little bit about those experiences, those memories that you have that trace the way from before school all the way up through your K-12 situation and now into your adulthood and as a teacher or librarian. Think about those experiences that you want to include. If you're going to write a traditional essay or a traditional reading autobiography, you should have an interesting introduction and a conclusion that kind of brings us to where you are today. I think it's important that you discuss how you model a love of reading to your students. That's bullet little 7 right here. I think it's kind of really important. This assignment, like all of them, is submitted to Blackboard, and what I'm looking for here as I'm grading is the amount of detail that you include. You talk about authors, titles, teachers that made a difference, if it's your mom or your dad or an aunt or an uncle or some relative, or if you read with a group of friends, if you belong to a reading club. The more detailed this is, the better. And a final note here that while I have always traditionally asked for this to be a personal narrative, an essay, if you will, you can certainly explore doing this in a different format, perhaps trying a reading timeline. I did one of those not too long ago myself. I found a timeline template online, and I began plugging in the titles that were really important and then kind of putting some bullets underneath them. So feel free to experiment a little here, but make sure, number one, make sure that you include lots of specifics, that you answer the questions that are posed here for the assignment, and that you really do give me a good indication of your life as a reader, as a non-reader, as a little bit of both. So I hope this helps you. This should be something that you sit down and you write freely, and you kind of enjoy the trip back down memory lane. So that's your reading autobiography, and I look forward to reading all of them. Thank you.